I got my license this summer while I was with my dad, so I was excited to drive places when I returned to my mom's. My mom and stepdad let me use their spare car a couple of times, then said I could only continue to use it if I drove my younger siblings to school, picked them up after school, and paid for gas. I said okay. They kind of laughed about it and I didn't get why. Now I realise it was because they were taking advantage of me. Driving my younger siblings to school sucks because they're all difficult to deal with in the morning. I also had to deal with insane traffic at the drop-off area at the elementary school, and then again at the middle school, and then I still had to find parking at my school. With all that, I actually had to leave home earlier than when I rode my bike to school, or even when I walked. Then, after school, I didn't get to do anything with my friends because I have to immediately pick them up and deal with the traffic by their schools again. Then I also have to pay for gas. So it feels like I'm just working on the weekend for money to drive my younger siblings instead of money for stuff I want. Even when I get to drive the car to go somewhere I want to, it just doesn't feel worth it when I can ride my bike. So I decided I didn't want to continue driving their car anymore and would return to riding my bike to school. It's free and it's so much easier. I can get around traffic and I can easily lock my bike up on the bike rack instead of spending time looking for parking. My mom and stepdad aren't happy because they said I'm breaking the deal and they've already rearranged their schedules. The deal was specifically if I want to continue using their car, then I have to drive them. I don't want to continue using their car, so that's it. They were still mad, so I offered to make a new deal for them to pay me for my time to drive them plus gas. They said no because it would be too expensive since it would be almost $100 a week and they can't afford it, but I don't want to do it in the first place. The money idea is just a compromise. Not the idiot. I can see you paying for gas for your own use of the car. I can see taking and picking up your siblings for the use of the car. No way is it right for you to pay for the gas involved in transporting your siblings. Tell your dad about the great deal your mom and stepdad are claiming you're locked into. I want to be a fly on the wall when he tears into them. They were taking advantage of you. Don't let them use you. Stand your ground. Exactly, and they laughed about it. What idiots. Those aren't OP's kids, but they sure behave like they are. They could have at least paid the fuel cost. God, I'm so sick of parents who try to make their oldest parent the younger children. OP, maybe tell them you've made your choice and laugh right back at them like they did you. They messed around and found out. Everyone's the idiot here. I think you were greedy with your counteroffer as it's their car you're using, wear and tear putting miles on it, not to mention they're paying for the insurance. Asking to pay for your time was a bit much, but I would make them pay for the gas during the week. If you want to use the car, you need to chip in somehow. Driving a car is a hassle and costs more than you think. The history. I have an ex-girlfriend, Carla, who's famous today. We met in high school and were a couple the whole time. Her biggest dream was to be accepted to acting school, and she did it. While I was interested in technology, computers and such, I was accepted into a school that was far from hers. We tried the long-distance thing, but it didn't work out, and we ended it on friendly terms, as we both realized that it would never work. Back to now, I took my girlfriend Annabelle to a restaurant to celebrate our 1 year together, and suddenly she pointed quietly behind me. Look, it's Carla. I love her so much. I wonder if she would mind if I asked for her autograph. I told her I don't think she would mind as she's my ex, and waved to her. Carla was quite happy to see me and came over. We hugged and she asked if they could join us at our table with her mother, who was with her company. The whole time my girlfriend was speechless and stared with giant eyes. We talked and I told them about the autograph, which she happily provided. I thought that this evening was great, but as soon as we left I found out that my girlfriend was furious with me. Why did you hide the fact that you dated Carla? I told her, to be fair, we never listed our exes to each other and I was basically a teenager back then. I am sorry, but also not sorry. In short, she told me that I was an idiot for hiding it and this was a lie of omission. I don't agree, as I've never tried to hide anything. For me, she was just another person. She wasn't even famous yet. Yes, she is famous today and I'm happy for her, but that is not my accomplishment. Not something I go around and brag about, as I respect her privacy. Also, it's not like she listed her boyfriends and who does what. I don't care, to be honest. History should remain history. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot. This is a pointless hill for your girlfriend to die on. If neither of you had explicitly mentioned the names of your exes or discussed your past, then her point about you being upfront about Carla is just absurd. It looks like she will see you as famous Carla's ex, and then you will be the person you are today. She sounds insecure. While you're totally right, I must admit that if I was dating a guy and we ran into Jennifer Lawrence and he was like, "Oh yeah, she's my ex," I would be 100% insecure about that. Don't get me wrong, I wouldn't break up with him, and I would ask the "why didn't you tell me" thing, even though I know the answer would be normal and reasonable. And while I also logically know that he's with me, I'm going to have insecure questions about their relationship. If you had the chance, would you be with her now? Was it only the long distance thing? And he would give me the again very normal and reasonable answers, but it would still be a challenge for me to wrap my head around, and it would take me a day or two to get the bizarre shock out of my system. I honestly don't think I know a single person who is so absolute in their self-confidence to where if they meet their partner's ex, who is a gorgeous celebrity and genuinely nice person, that they wouldn't have their insecurities shaken up a little bit. Yes, OP's girlfriend took it to a different level, but firmly believing that most people wouldn't feel a bit insecure after that isn't really realistic. You are the idiot. I find the situation of actually letting your ex and her mother join you at your table, where you're celebrating your first anniversary with your girlfriend, quite strange. I mean, nothing wrong with not talking about your ex, but catching up with her during your anniversary dinner with your current girlfriend just seems so strange. I mean, exchanging greetings and asking for her autograph for your girlfriend is totally fine, but letting her join your celebratory dinner for your anniversary? To be fair, it's also strange for friends who aren't exes to ask to join someone's anniversary dinner. I'm a 34 female married and a mama to a toddler daughter. My husband and I had a tough time becoming parents. I've had 4 pregnancy losses, 4 before my daughter was born, but I'm honestly just thankful that we have her. I don't typically speak about my fertility issues, and the only people who know about my loss are my parents, husband, and 2 older sisters. My husband has a sister-in-law, 31, who we love dearly, but she tends to play the "woe is me" card and act like no one else is struggling as much as her. She and her husband recently got pregnant, and about a month ago she lost it. She's been open about it on social media and at family events, so I've reached out and expressed my condolences and listened several times. I can tell that she's really struggling with this, and I genuinely feel badly that she's suffering. On Saturday night, we went to my in-laws' house for dinner. My sister-in-law was talking about the loss and how hard it's been. My little girl was sitting on my lap, but she was playing and obviously didn't understand what her aunt was saying. At one point, my sister-in-law started crying and my daughter noticed and got upset. She wanted to kiss my sister-in-law to make it better. She always does this when someone is upset. I told my sister-in-law that my daughter wanted to give her a kiss, and she said no pretty harshly and looked annoyed. My daughter was confused and I told her to give me a big kiss instead. My husband said that was rude since our daughter noticed she was sad and just wanted to make her feel better. My sister-in-law then said it's just hard that both of her brothers have happy and healthy babies when her baby is gone. She said that she loves her niece and is so happy that she's here, but she's sad she and her husband haven't been blessed with a child yet. This deeply upset me because I can't believe she'd be triggered by her own niece. I've never looked at my sister's kids or my brother-in-law's kids and felt anything other than joy that they were in the world. My sister-in-law must have noticed I was uncomfortable because she proceeded to say that we couldn't possibly understand since we haven't ever lost a child. I should have kept my mouth shut, but that comment and assumption was the last straw. I told my sister-in-law we understood since I had 4 losses. I said that it took years of trying before I brought my beautiful girl into the world. My mother-in-law, who's very kind and empathetic, hugged me and said she was so sorry to hear I'd struggled with that. My sister-in-law was shocked and asked why we never told anyone. I said I was private, wanted to process it on my own, and had a hard time talking about my own hardships because I knew everyone else was going through things as well. Anyway, my husband told me that his sister called him and was angry. She said I was trying to compete with her by saying I had 4 pregnancy losses. She also said I was trying to make the conversation about me when her wounds were still fresh. She also commented that I was being passive-aggressive when I said everyone was going through things and that I was minimizing her loss. My husband was laughing when he told me, but I actually felt a bit guilty. Maybe it wasn't appropriate to bring up my losses at that moment, but her comment really got under my skin. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot. Your sister-in-law is an emotional succubus. She is the one who took the drama to the next level, saying that nobody can possibly understand when, in fact, many people can understand. Pregnancy loss is much more common than it is realized. Based on how angry she got with your daughter and with you, I think you might need to take some time away from her. Instead of saying, "Oh, I have somebody who will understand my pain," she decided to make it a competition, acting as if she were the victim in this situation. In this situation, there is no victim. She said something she had no idea about, and you corrected her. So my take is a little different from what a lot of people are saying here. Your sister-in-law just had her loss and she is still very emotionally raw. She got upset and had big feelings. That is okay. She didn't handle it well with your baby, and that is something we can have compassion for. But since you were already feeling critical of her for getting triggered by her own niece, and since she'd just been kind of an idiot to your precious baby, maybe your "we get it because we have had 4 losses" did have just the slightest edge to it. I don't know because I wasn't there, but I could see this as being that nobody is an idiot. Everyone deserves a little bit of grace here. I'm the father of a young teen female and a teen male. My daughter loves to cook, especially cookies. Regularly, every month or so, she will make 100 or more so we can take them to work or school and give it to the family. Since I wanted to reward my daughter for this little regular gift, I started taking about 50 of them to my work, saying I would eat them as a snack during work days and selling them to colleagues at a free price, saying my daughter makes them and the money they give me is for her. Usually I make about $100 and 100% goes to her allowance as a bonus. We give $50 per month to our 2 kids. Last Sunday during lunch, my boy asked us, my wife and I, why our girl was getting a far higher allowance than him. My wife couldn't really tell, and I said it's because she does more stuff at home, gets better grades, behaves better, and especially with the money we gave, she saves, not my son. It's the same with our grandparents, who usually give her a bit more as a reward. For your information, we don't do things like, you do this task, you get this, or you get this grade, you get this. We don't believe in this type of education. Our children aren't dogs. My son wasn't happy with this answer and started asking for more money because he was older. This is reasoning I could get, but since he's older, he could also work or help us more. He complained the whole meal, and my daughter and my wife were very embarrassed. I was also quite upset with this attitude, which justifies why we give more to our daughter, and I yelled, "You want more money? Start making cookies or shut the heck up," and I left the room. Nobody understood why I would bring cookies to this discussion, so my wife asked me later. I told her, and she's as angry as our son because apparently the fact I sell cookies is a big lie and is undermining her parenting. She thinks it's also unfair for our son. Since this discussion, she's been very cold, like our son. I'm not sure if she told our kids about this cookie business. You are the idiot for gaslighting your son about the reason your daughter gets more money, and I think it's bad parenting to give your daughter 3 times the amount your older son gets without even explaining it to either of them. Plus, the way you left the table is beyond ridiculous. To be honest, start making cookies or shut the heck up. Think of a way to give your son the same opportunities as your daughter unless you want him to think that you favor your daughter, which honestly doesn't seem far-fetched. Also, tell your parents to stop giving your daughter more money than your son. What the heck? He also turned his daughter's gift into a family wedge. She thought she was doing something nice for everyone in the family. Now it's not. And those cookies were for the family to eat, not to sell. Maybe other family members would have preferred to eat them if OP hadn't taken them already. OP started this whole thing by being selfish. Good job, idiot. One of my girlfriend's best friends recently found out her boyfriend was cheating on her. They lived together, so she started packing and asking my girlfriend if she could stay with us. I've never even met this friend before and we didn't have a spare bed, but my girlfriend said she could stay on the sofa without even talking to me about it. My girlfriend said it wouldn't be long, but I told her I didn't want her friend to stay with us. She has family and other friends in the town, so she could ask them. The friend arrived and thanked us for letting her stay, but I again told my girlfriend that she had to go. The following morning, my girlfriend told me I couldn't go into the living room until her friend woke up. Her friend didn't get up until 12 p.m, so I was kicked out of my living room all morning. I told my girlfriend I was going to tell her friend to leave. She tried to change my mind, but I said no. I told her friend I was sorry for what she was going through, but she would have to leave. She asked why, and I just said it's not working and we don't have the space. She kept trying to get me to change my mind, but I didn't. She packed her things up and left, and now my partner is angry with me and said I've been needlessly cruel and heartless. But I just pointed out I shouldn't be kicked out of rooms in my own apartment and shouldn't have to have guests when I don't want them. Am I the idiot for telling my girlfriend's friend she has to leave? Edit, we rent and split bills 50-50. Not the idiot. Personally, if my boyfriend cheated on me and I left, the last place I'd go to would be my friend who's living with a boyfriend. Especially a 1-bedroom apartment where there probably isn't a ton of space. I can see a night or 2, but we all know it would have been way longer. You and your girlfriend should probably work on communication, since this turned into a bit of a crap show. I don't blame you. I hate giving up my privacy, especially to someone I don't really know. My mom invited my aunt to stay with us all for one night. She stayed for 2 years and even had a baby at that time. You just have to speak with your partner first and discuss whether you can house someone. Also, to sleep in till 12 p.m, my behind would be up at 6 cleaning up the living room. I think your girlfriend is the idiot for staying with someone who would throw someone who is in trouble onto the curb. It sounds like you're both pretty immature. I absolutely 100% know for a fact that if one of my friends was in trouble and needed a place to stay for a few nights, I wouldn't even need to ask my husband, nor would he need to ask me. In fact, he'd help me make up the bed while I set another plate on the table. The lack here of generosity, mutual respect, kindness, communication and compassion all round makes me think that you and your girlfriend might need some time apart.